Hello there! Do you think all innovation is good? Actually, scratch that. Have you heard of Thomas Midgley Jr.? He's most known for his inventions of leaded gasoline and the first chlorofluorocarbons, but most importantly, he's known for killing thousands and thousands of people. In 1921, Midgley started adding tetraethyl lead, or TEL, to gasoline in gas stations, with the good intention of preventing engine knocking, which was a problem that destroyed early motors. Together with General Motors, he filed a patent for his invention and called it ethyl. His development sold very well and brought him a lot of profits, but this came at a cost. It made anyone working with the gas feel very unwell. Thomas himself, in 1923, got lead poisoning and took a long vacation to Miami to clear his lungs, stating, "My lungs have been affected and that it is necessary to drop all work and get a large supply of fresh air." By 1924, 4 people had died at an Ohio TEL plant, and the staff was reportedly threatening to shut the plant down, saying that they were depressed to the point of considering giving up the whole TEL program, as lead poisoning can cause depression. 5 more workers died at the New Jersey TEL plant. In late 1924, General Motors opened another ethyl treatment plant in New Jersey. In just the first 2 months of operation, though, lead poisoning contributed to widespread depression, hallucinations, and 5 deaths. Unwilling to accept that his invention was causing this, Midgley held a press conference in October of 1924, where he took deep inhales of TEL for 60 seconds to proclaim it safe. Just a few days later, General Motors closed the plant, and Midgley himself got another case of lead poisoning. He was fired from his job in 1925, but remained a GM employee in stature. The deaths attributed to TEL don't take into account the thousands, if not hundreds, of additional TEL lead poisoning cases from people who worked at gas stations, shipped gasoline, and others. So much lead was released into the atmosphere that it is hard to measure the extent of the damage that Midgley caused. Midgley saw a problem, invented ethyl gas to solve it, and ended up with the outcome of destroying lives and the atmosphere. You would think Thomas would have stopped at that point, but no. He went on to invent something else, which is still affecting us in a big way today. Specifically, he helped to invent R22, or Freon, which is the first CFC ever created. CFCs are 2 things. First, they are the main ingredients in refrigeration units and aerosol cans. The second, the main thing that is destroying the ozone layer. Freon was put into all kinds of things from the mid-40s onwards, and until semi-recently was powering much of the freezers in your local supermarket. It took until 1987 for the US to sign onto a worldwide accord promising the end of Freon production, and in 2020, R22 will be made illegal to own or possess entirely. There's no way for Midgley himself to have known this, as he died in the mid-1950s, 30 years before people understood that CFCs were destroying greenhouse gases in the ozone layer. However, that does not change the fact that the world as we know it could have ended in 2060 due to overwhelming heat if CFCs had never been banned. Thankfully, the ozone layer is healing itself and should be back to its pre-1974 ways by 2065. As for Midgley, he proved a point about karma. He contracted a polio-related disease, which left him with limited mobility. He designed a very odd bed full of layers and pulleys that allowed him to get out of the bed, but he died after getting stuck in the bed and being strangled by it. In the end, his own invention killed him. Midgley was granted more than 100 patents over the course of his career, which shows that he was clearly creative. He innovated with his discoveries. He found solutions to problems with the intention of helping the world. He had the time to think. He had the resources because he had access to GM's labs. He had the skills and was curious enough to not give up after any failed project. So, can we say that Midgley's inventions were bad? Maybe not. Maybe there is no such thing as a good or bad invention. Maybe there is a positive side to everything. If it weren't for Midgley's inventions, perhaps we would have never known the extent of damage lead can cause to humans, and the damage CFCs can cause to the ozone layer. His story also helps us realize that a single individual can have a huge impact on the world we live in. Historians have said that Midgley had more impact on the atmosphere than any other single organism in Earth's history.